Airplane accidents are a very unique part of the practice of personal injury work that you really have to have experience in to successfully handle. Airplane accidents are divided in two types. General aviation, which is small planes, private planes, could be jets, small jets, and commercial aviation, which are what most of us travel on all the time, the big airlines. And I've handled both types of cases. With commercial aviation, you have to look at a similar set of parameters that you look at with general aviation, but commercial aviation, you have generally much more experienced pilots, you have a lot more people involved, okay? And when you look at an aviation accident, there are 5 things that basically can cause a plane to crash. The most common thing is weather. About 70% of all plane crashes are caused by weather, okay? The pilot not taking the right route goes through the weather and there's a problem, okay? Then there's pilot error, which is usually the second most common type. Tower error, okay, error by the tower where he doesn't give the correct instructions to the pilot coming in or taking off, and there's a collision of some sort. And then there's a mechanical problem with the plane, which would be, a lot in commercial aviation, you hear about those things, the Value Jet crash down here in Florida. They had cargo there. It actually wasn't a mechanical problem with the plane. It was cargo that wasn't sealed off properly, and highly flammable gases got loose in the area where they kept the cargo and exploded. There's the TWA flight that was off of Long Island. There was a worn electrical line coming from the rear of the plane that caused sparks that ignited a big explosion. So you have weather, you have pilot error, you have tower error, you have mechanical problem with the plane, you can have a design problem with the plane. There was a rudder on certain types of planes that were causing problems for a while. And then you can have cargo issues. Okay, those are the 5 causes of plane crashes. So you have to be familiar with all of that. And when you get involved in a plane crash, every single plane crash is investigated by the National Transportation Safety Board. And whether it's a small private plane or whether it's a commercial plane. And so they'll do an initial report. You have to get that report. You have to dissect it yourself, and you have to decide in what direction you're going to go. What did the cause of the accident look like? Where did it occur? Are we going to pursue this? What defendants do you have? Is it going to be, air traffic controller? It's going to be some defect. I had one case with a defect in the runway. Is it going to be the fact that maybe a power line wasn't marked properly and a private plane coming in hit the power line and flipped it over? Is it pilot error? I had a commercial plane outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, where they turned the alarms off as they were descending and went below the minimum descent altitude and crashed, I should say, about 2 miles short of the runway on a clear day. So, and there were about 200 people that were killed. There were 5 survivors. So you have to look at each one of these things and analyze them to determine what the cause was. You also have to be aware of the fact that because of radar involved, you can get tracings of the plane's flight going way back and obtain that and actually recreate the accident itself. I had a case involving 2 planes that collided, a mid-air crash in DeLand, Florida. One, an Embry-Riddle plane that had a student pilot and an instructor in it, and the other one had a former astronaut was in the other plane. He was the instructor and had a commercial jet pilot that was actually flying the plane, and they were flying it the wrong way. It was a towerless airport. They were flying it the wrong way against the runway when the other plane was taking off, and they collided at the end of the runway, only maybe 600 feet in the air. and all 4 were killed, needless to say. When I was investigating that case against Embry-Riddle, which is a flight school, we got their near mid-air collision data, and they settled the case right away because they had over 100 near mid-air collisions each year in the prior 3 years. So those are the things you have to look at in an aircraft crash.